Hello, my little mathematicians. I'm going to help you get started on your homework of solving one-step equations. I'm going to do the following starred problems. First of all, let's start at this bottom one. We'll go up. Okay. Always draw a line down from your equal sign and be sure to show your undoing step, okay, or the inverse operation. Right here, you always want to isolate your variable, and this 17 is being added, so the inverse of adding is to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 17 to get C by itself because 17 minus 17 cancels out. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. I need to borrow. 11 minus 7 is 4, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So I think C is 24. We always want to check to make sure that that's right. So 17 plus C equals 41. Replace your variable with what you think the answer is, and then double check. Okay, so 17 plus 24, that's 11 plus 1 is 41. So 41 equals 41. That's a true statement. So then you know with certainty that 24 was the correct answer. Let's move up to this one. This is saying 16 times h. When you have two numbers touching each other with no sign between them, that means that they're being multiplied. So the inverse of multiplying is to divide. Now we do this to get h by itself because 16 divided by 16 is 1. So you have 1 times h, or just h. So now your variable is isolated, but whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I'm going to divide this side by 16. 32 divided by 16 is 2. Let's double check. Okay, my original equation. Then substitute in for h what you think the answer is. You think h is 2. And see if it makes a true statement. 32 equals 16 times 2 is indeed 32. You can multiply it out if you're not sure. And yes, that makes a true statement. So 2 was indeed the correct answer. Here, this is saying a divided by 6. So to get a by itself, I want to do the inverse of dividing, which means I'm going to multiply by 6. So those cross cancel, because think of it as if you were to have something like this. Let's put a 7 and a 5. Okay, so if you had 6 sevens times 5, 6, you would say, oh, you can cross cancel. So I would divide both of these by 6. And 6 divided by 6 is 1. And this 6 divided by 6 is 1. And now you just have a 1 there. That's essentially what's happening here. Okay, we're multiplying by 6 over 1 so that then those 6's cancel out to become 1. And then you have 1 times a, which is just a. And I can do that because you can multiply or divide whatever you want as long as you do it to both sides. And now 8 times 6 is 48. Okay, double check that that's right. Here's your initial equation. A divided by 6 equals 8. Replace a with what you think it is. And 48 divided by 6 is indeed 8. That's a true statement, so you know for sure that that was the correct answer. Now let's try this one. Okay. This is saying 3/4 times x. Essentially, you're multiplying by a fraction, which means you're going to then do the inverse of dividing by a fraction. And remember, when you divide by a fraction, you do keep, change, flip, and you flip that second fraction. Okay, so you have x divided by 3/4. So you keep x the same, change division to multiplication, and you flip the 3/4 to become 4 over 3. Okay, so when you're multiplying by a fraction, you divide by the fraction, which basically means you're multiplying by its reciprocal. And when you do that, the 4's cancel and these 3's cancel. And so now you just have 1, 1, 1, 1. So 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times x is just x. Okay, and since we multiplied this side by 4 over 3, I need to multiply this side by 4 over 3 as well. Now 3 can cross cancel with the 9 because 3 divided by 3 is 1 and 9 divided by 3 is 3. Those can't cross cancel, so you just multiply across. 3 times 4 is 12. On the bottom, 1 times 1 is 1, so you have 12 over 1, or just 12. Let's go ahead and check that. So you have 3/4 times 12. Is that indeed equal to 9. Well, let's see. If I put that over 1, these can cross cancel. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3, because 3 is how many times 4 went into 12. And when we did 4 divided by 4, we got 1, right? So we cross canceled by 4. Now I just multiply across. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. And 9 over 1 is just 9. Bring down your equals 9. That's a true statement. So 12 was indeed the correct answer for X there. And again, when you have a fraction, just go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal to get X by itself. So what do you think you would multiply this by? Think about it. Think about it. Okay. And yes, you would have multiplied by 8 over 5. And whatever you do to one side, do to the other. Those cancel, you get K equals, that's over 1. Okay, I'm going to stop there and let you do the rest. But remember, this 5 and 25 can cross cancel, they can reduce, and then it'll make that a lot simpler. Congratulations, my little mathematicians. You have now mastered one-step equations.